Okay, till now what we have done is we have created the database for our application. We first designed the database and then we created this database, and inside the database we created these 7 tables there. Not only that, we created these 7 tables using a PHP program. So we learned basically how from a PHP program we can connect to the database server, and then we can execute SQL commands on the server. So we created these tables and then we inserted a few sample records into these tables just for testing purpose. So that part is done. Now what we are going to do is we are now going to design the login page. We are going to do some front end part. So whatever we were doing till now, it was sort of the back end part. It was always there on the server side. In this part, what we're going to do is we're going to design the login page, which is basically the front end part of the application. Now let's see, first we will see, like we'll spend 2-3 minutes just to know the entire process, like what is happening and where this login page will be created and where this login page will be displayed. Okay, let's get some background of the story. When the faculty wants to give the attendance for a particular class, then what he or she will do is he or she will first type in his browser or her browser these something like this: localhost / the name of the application and something like login.php. Now see, in actual, when we deploy the application in an actual server, this localhost will be replaced by some IP address or something like www.a.com or something. Okay, but ultimately what the user will do is the user will first request for the login page there. The name of the page you can keep anything, but typically say it's a login page, so it is login.php. Now when the user presses enter, what will happen is an HTTP request will be sent to the server. The server in turn will look if there is a file called login.php in its in the server or not. If it is found, then see here, this is a PHP file the user is requesting. So basically it will consider that it is an executable file. For that reason, the server will execute this login.php file. It will generate the output of the login.php file. Whatever it is the output, it will be generated, and that this output will be sent back to the client machine there, like that. Now see, when the client machine, this output, whatever it is generated by this login.php, the output will be, at this point what we want is this output we want to be written in HTML plus CSS. Okay, these HTML and CSS content will be sent to the client machine's browser here. The browser will now receive that HTML and CSS content here. Now what we want is when the browser displays that HTML and CSS content, we want it to look something like this. Something like this, where there will be a label say username, there is this text box, another label say password, there is this text box, and then there is this go button. So in this part, what we're going to do is we're going to design this login page. That is, we are going to do, or we are going to write some HTML and CSS content to create a login page that looks like this. Okay, then let's start. Okay, we are in Visual Studio Code Editor now. So what I'll do is I'll first create a few files and then I will not explain you much. What I'll do is I'll simply write the HTML and CSS content to create the login page. And while typing, after typing say every few lines, I'll be showing you the output also. So that way automatically you will understand which line is written for what purpose. And once everything is done, I'll be giving you a brief explanation on the overall thing. Okay, let's first create those few files and then I'll start. So first what I'll do is I'll create a file. See, we have this attendance app and then we have this database folder. Now what we'll do is we'll go out of the database folder. In the attendance app itself, we will first create a folder. Let's call that folder say CSS. Here we will be actually keeping all our CSS content inside this folder. That's the reason I have created it. Okay, and then I will create a file itself. In the attendance app itself, I'll create a file, and that file I'll call login.php. See here, that is the PHP file that will be requested by the user. So we'll write the content of this file here in such a way that it generates some HTML content. And along with that, what I'll do is I'll also create a file inside this CSS folder. I'll create another file. I'll call it login.css. Okay, so this will be the CSS file that will govern the look and feel of the login page. You will come to know actually. Yeah, that is, we will write all the CSS content in this file. Done. So this is the basic arrangement actually. Now let's start writing the code. And at the same time, as I promised, I'll be showing you the output also. In this part, I'll not speak much. Rather, what I'll do is I'll put some background music for your convenience. Let's see the process. I promise you will enjoy it. Okay, that's all. Okay, then we have designed this simple login page. It is done. Let me tell you a few features about this login page. By default, it looks something like this. Now, when I bring my mouse cursor on this center div, you can see this background light glowing effect that is done using CSS. Another feature you can notice here is these input groups. By default, the color of these input groups are red, but as soon as I bring my mouse cursor here, you can see the color is changed from red to blue, indicating that, okay, now it is the active input group. Not only that, if I click on, suppose, this input box and I bring my cursor away, that time also this input group will still remain blue, indicating that that is the input which is in focus right now. But if I do not type anything here and simply click outside, it will lose its focus, and again it will become red. Now suppose if I bring my cursor here, I type something there. Now since there are something the user has typed in that text box, the input group will maintain its blue color. That is the effect that I wanted to give. Okay, now the same thing is true for this password input group also. That is, if I don't type anything here, it will remain red, but if I type something there, it will become blue, and it will remain blue as long as some text is there in this text box. By this time, you might have noticed another important feature, and that feature is, see here, suppose I don't type anything in this text box. Then by default, actually, when you load the page for the first time, you will see this login button is in red color, indicating that, okay, the user has not typed anything in the text boxes. Now, if I type something here, suppose in this text box, the login button is still red, indicating that all the fields are not entered. But as soon as I type the first character in the second input group, say for example, I type something here, you can see as soon as both these two text boxes are not empty, this button changes its color from red to blue, indicating that, okay, now both the fields are entered. Now see, suppose the same thing is true. Suppose I type something in password, and if I do not type anything in this username field, then also automatically this button will change its color from blue to red. Now, this feature, this button changing its color based on the text which are there in these input boxes, this feature is implemented using JavaScript. Since I have to take care of both these two input boxes, directly how to implement it using CSS, it didn't come into my mind, so I implemented it using JavaScript. For the JavaScript part, I have used jQuery. Let me show you the code quickly. So what I did first is I included a folder JS, and inside that I created two files, jQuery.js and login.js. In this jQuery.js, I downloaded the jQuery code and I put it here. Now see, jQuery is a very famous JavaScript library. You can consider it almost like a vanilla flavored JavaScript library. I have been using it for quite a long time, and I love using it. And I use this jQuery to grab those DOM elements, manipulate those DOM elements, and I find it very easy with the help of jQuery. So anyhow, I downloaded the code for jQuery and I put it here. That's all I did in this file. And in login.js, this is our custom JS file. Here I have written the actual logic. You see here, when the document is ready, now I'm capturing this key up event for the input boxes. As soon as the user presses a key and release the key, this event will be fired. And then I'm taking what the user has typed in username box, password box, checking if both of them are not empty. If both of them are not empty, then it means it is valid. So I'm removing the inactive color class from login button. You see here, this inactive color is a class. Similarly, active color is also a class. You see here in this login page, login.css, I have written two extra classes there, inactive color and active color. Inactive color will make the color of the button red. Active color will make the color of the button blue. So that's what it is done here. Like if both of them are valid, if in both the text boxes there are some text, then inactive color will be removed and active color will be applied. But if at least one of them is empty, in that case active color will be removed and inactive color will be applied. by default, when we load the page for the first time, you can see the button comes with inactive color. And that's why when we load the page for the first time, you can see the button comes with a red color like that. That's all then in this part of the video. Hope you got some value out of this video. And if you like the video at any moment of time, then please do not forget to press the like button. And also subscribe the channel if you're interested in more content like this. Also, let me know your feedback in the comment section. If you have any doubts, queries, or anything on which you want more clarification or more explanation, then that also you can write me in the comment section. Your comments are quite valuable for me, so please do not hesitate to do that. Okay guys, then see you in the next part.